Hello everyone, and welcome to my tutorial on how to beat Super Mario Bros. Warpless. In this guide, we will be looking at strats and potential power-up recovery spots which will help grant you a time of under 20 minutes. Without further ado, let's begin. Before we start, I'd like to go over the fireworks system in this game. Getting a 1, 3, or 6 on the in-game timer upon grabbing the flagpole will warrant 1, 3, and 6 fireworks respectively. One firework will not lose any time though, so just be careful about 3 and 6. One is a very straightforward level. There's nothing much to explain here. Simply bop the first Goomba, grab the mushroom, use the underground coin cache, and grab the flagpole. In 1-2, we will grab our Fire Flower. I recommend not fireballing this descending Goomba, but rather duck jumping on him. Next, we're going to snipe these piranha plants. Once you enter the exit pipe, it's important to note how many in-game seconds it will take to reach the flagpole. It takes 6 in-game seconds to grab the flag. So when I get a 3:52 on the timer when leaving the underground, I know I'm on track to get 3:46 on the flagpole, which is not good since that will give me 6 fireworks. A good solution to this is to buffer a jump before Mario comes out of the pipe. Simply hold right plus B plus A at the same time out of the pipe, and that will slow you down just enough to get a 3:45. One 1-3 is another easy level that doesn't need a whole lot of explanation. 1-3 does feature the faster mushroom grab in World 1, however I chose the 1-1 and 1-2 power-up grabs, since it makes 1-2 significantly easier. It also doesn't lose a significant amount of time, for the sub-20 goal we have in mind. The first part of 1-4 is real easy. Just run under these fire bars. When you get in between these two fire bars, you can briefly press left to give you more room to jump. Sometimes, if you hold right the entire time, it can make it real hard to jump early enough to avoid taking damage to this last fire bar. It is a slightly safe alternative that, if anything, loses a very small amount of time. You don't have to go super crazy on Bowser either. Play it safe and shoot him 5 times to grab the axe. If you don't fire kill Bowser and he's alive when you grab the axe, a short animation of him falling into the lava will play, which obviously loses time. Using a fire kill to skip this animation saves an estimated 2 seconds per castle. And we will be doing this, ideally anyway, 7 times. So as you can see, it is definitely a time save worth using in Warpless. In 2-1, you'll want to go up top at the beginning. Once you reach this set of bricks, shoot a fireball the moment before Mario lands. This way, you can shoot the piranha plant that's occupying the pipe you need to land on. After this, you're going to want to jump and shoot another fireball to kill a Goomba, and that'll make it easier to shoot this piranha plant. Towards the end, you'll want to take the top route and bonk on this spring. Don't try to not bonk, as not only is it really difficult, but you'll need to slow down to prevent grabbing the flag with 3:46 on the timer. In swimming stages, there are 2 types of swimming, normal swimming and duck swimming. Normal swimming is obviously the developer's intended way to swim. You have a whole hitbox and can shoot fire. However, with duck swimming, if you're on a surface, hold down, and simultaneously press A to swim, your hitbox will be reduced to the lower half of Mario's sprite. While this does make it easier to navigate between enemies, you can't shoot fire, since duck swimming in water is like dunk jumping in an overworld level. You can't shoot fireballs when you're duck jumping. For both water levels in SMB1, it is ideal to have fireballs when you're swimming, as the enemy patterns aren't challenging enough for duck swimming to be super important, with the exception of one part that I'll get into later. Try to not shoot every enemy you see on screen, just the ones that are blocking your path, such as this Cheep Cheep and Blooper in the first choke point, these Cheep Cheeps in the second choke point, and any enemies in the third choke point. An optimal 2-2 should result in a 3:16 on the timer at the exit pipe, which translates to 3:10 at the flagpole. In 2-3, it's important to keep an eye out for the flying fish, as sometimes they can be in the perfect spot to hit you. What I try to do is spam 2 fireballs at the same time as soon as I can. Once those 2 fireballs go off screen, shoot 2 more. This is a good way to snipe any potential fish that come on screen. It's important to note that this obviously won't hit every single Cheep Cheep, but it does help. In 2-4, these fire bars should be rather favorable every time. Just run under them like they don't exist. This next jump can be a little troublesome. Run off this ledge, land on the ascending elevator, and quickly do a duck jump onto this descending elevator. If you do it right, you should land on the floor here with just enough room to dodge this flame. Make sure you're really holding down when performing this jump, as it is really easy to do down plus right and have a normal jump. Once you land on this floor here, shoot 2 opening shots. When timed right, these will hit Bowser and all you have to do is shoot him 3 more times. It's important to pay attention to the positioning of the flames as they vary all the time. At the start of 3-1, go on top of the question mark blocks, and then shoot these 2 piranha plants. Try to not fireball any of these 3 Goombas on the bridge, just jump over them and go on top of these bricks. Land on the second topmost step here. The staircase is the most challenging part of the stage. Do a full jump, and once Mario is blocking the second digit of the coin count while still holding A, shoot 1 fireball. Then, shoot another fireball to wipe out the second Koopa. Keep in mind that an optimal 3-1 gives a 347 on the timer, so don't try to slow down too much as you'll risk getting fireworks. Three 2 is nothing but a whole lot of enemies. You don't have to go out of your way to shoot every last one of them. But there is a Goomba that we're gonna have to despawn at the staircase. Once you reach this Koopa, shoot him and then shoot 2 more fireballs to take out 2 more Koopas. A common way to do this is to shoot at the beat of the music, something that was found by speedrunner Goofy Chocobo. Assuming you did it correctly, there will only be 2 Goombas at the staircase, instead of the usual 3 Goombas. Sometimes you'll see players jump through this elevator. Don't go for it. It doesn't do anything special for your speedruns. And it's not worth the headache of potentially losing runs because you mistimed your jump. Just jump over it. This is the first of a handful of levels where grabbing the bottom of the flagpole is optimal, as there's no good way to grab the top without losing a decent amount of time. I'm going to say this right now, don't challenge the Potoboos. Take as much time as you need to prevent a damage, especially in castle levels, as you will lose time from the falling animation at the end. These fire bars should always be in a good position for you to plow right through them. Take these Potoboos safe while also being aware of where Bowser's flames are. As you jump over this hole, shoot 2 opening shots and finish him off. "4-1 is the classic level that we all know and love from any percent. Lakitu will always be a bad shooter, so just pretend he's not even there. To start, you'll want to jump on this tiny piece of ground and quickly do a full jump. Trust me, it's not as hard as it looks. Next, aim a duck jump for this middle Goomba, and jump over these question mark blocks. Most top level players take the bottom route, but that's obviously a little harder and doesn't come with a time save. Instead, we're going to do a quick jump onto this elevator, preferably landing on the left edge, followed by a full jump, and another small jump. Look at that! We're skipping the whole level. Once you reach this part, you need to hold down as Mario falls off the edge. This way, he's technically duck falling, kind of like duck swimming where his hitbox is sliced in half. This is to prevent us bonking on the wall. A perfect 4-2 results in 350 entering the exit pipe, which gives us a 344 at the flag. So make sure you're not taking things too slow, as you may get 3 fireworks with a 343. "4-3 is a fun level filled with chickenpox mushrooms. This jump in particular is rather tight. Slowing down at all in this level will lose a frame rule, but since it's only 1 frame rule, or 0.35 seconds, it's not necessarily a deal breaker if you want to hold left a little bit to avoid bonking on this chickenpox mushroom. Next, make big jumps across these elevators and grab that flag. "4-4 is the first of 3 maze castles in this game. Take the top path, then the bottom. Give yourself plenty of room to duck under this low firebar. 4-4 Bowser Kill is arguably the hardest in the run. As you jump here, Shoot your opening shots right before Mario is directly above this floor. Most of the time, projectiles will block your shots, so don't feel bad if they miss. In this fight, more than any other, if he goes forward, run under him. You do not want to be sandwiched in between Bowser and the Potaboo. "5-1 is a pretty chill level with basic platforming throughout. Pay attention to the two paratroopers at the end, as their patterns can vary and if you're not prepared, you could take damage. Try to not slow down too much, as 2:47 is the optimal time for this stage. At the start of 5-2, it's best to take this bullet launcher safe. 9 times out of 10 it won't shoot anything, but playing it conservatively doesn't lose much time. Duck jump onto the second bottom step, then do a small jump to the top of the staircase. Don't jump again until you are snugly next to the cannon. Always shoot this hammer bro, as he can throw a hammer and hit you. When you land on this pipe, you'll want to shoot 2 fireballs quickly. However, this can be challenging. If you're feeling nervous, you can hold left for a moment to slow down. This way, you won't miss the piranha plant. Try to go the top route when finishing off this level, as you want to avoid dealing with the paratrooper. This level is 1-3 but with bullet bills, and it is essential to always keep an eye out for them, as they don't hesitate to get right in your face. Duck jumping will be your best friend in this level, as your hitbox will be reduced and lower your chances of getting hit. It is very important for you to bop this Goomba, as not doing so will despawn one of the platforms up ahead, and almost guarantee death. "5-4 is a duplicate of 2-4, but with more fire bars. Once you get to the question mark block, stop and wait until the timer reaches 292. Once it says 292, advance to the next part of the level. Slowing down under the question mark block will always result in ideal firebar positioning, so you don't have to slow down or risk taking damage. Same as in 2-4, perform a duck jump through these elevators. When you get to the last firebar, stand on it for a moment. Once the Potaboo has reached its apex, continue to the Bowser fight. Note that Bowser shoots his flame slightly earlier here than in 2-4. To start, jump on top of these two question mark blocks. This will manipulate Lakitu to not throw a Spiny. The rest of the level is pretty straightforward. 351 will give you one firework, but as I mentioned before, one firework won't cost you any time. Six 2 is where your sniping skills come to shine. Take the top route here to avoid dealing with all of the piranha plants. At the end, slow down a slight bit to avoid getting a 343 on the timer. In this section, take the top path. One jump in particular is very difficult, and not worth it, especially since you'll need to slow down for a few frames anyway to avoid fireworks. Taking the spring here will lose a bit of time, so try to avoid that if you can. Ideally, you will only be frames away from a 256 with a slight slowdown. Six 4 is a copycat of 1-4 but with more fire bars. Jump under this first Podoboo. 9.75 times out of 10, this Podoboo isn't low enough to hurt you. However, there is an extremely rare frame rule that is a package deal with a super low Podoboo. Once you clear the second Podoboo, don't move until this fire bar reaches the bottom right corner of the block. This will set you upright to run under it without getting hit. As a safe measure, briefly duck under this last fire bar. It's a little tight for Big Fire Mario. These fire bars will be positioned well enough for you to jump safely through them. After you jump off these question mark blocks, I always prefer to shoot this paratroopa. That will make this jump between the two launchers much easier to complete. At the staircase, aim for the third lowest step, and then jump over the Buzzy Beetle. Mario doesn't bounce high enough off enemies, and will get caught up in the stairs if you try to jump from the previous staircase. You'll need to slow down slightly, as the optimal 7-1 time is 3:53. Same thing as 2-2, only shoot enemies that are directly in your path. At the end, there is a chance that a blooper will come and race you to the exit pipe. Just after the coral, activate duck swimming to shrink your hitbox. This will give you more room to squeeze past the blooper without slowing down. Seven-3 is an advanced version of 2-3, with a few Koopas and more Cheep Cheeps. Just like before, shoot sets of 2 fireballs as much as possible to kill off any potential threats. Never challenge a Cheep Cheep that appears to be landing right in your way. Seven-4 is the second maze castle. The first part is bottom, middle, top. And then go top, middle, top. For your opening shots, jump a little bit before the edge of this floor. At the peak of Mario's jump, shoot your opening shots. Eight-1 has some pretty simple platforming overall. At this triple Koopa section, stomp on the first and third Koopas. This will despawn a Goomba coming up next. This makes this next jump real easy without slowing down. Letting go of right in 8-1 will typically result in a time loss of 1 frame roll. Hitting this star block is also important to allow for good judges. It's a fairly technical explanation that I won't get into, but always hit the star block. Eight -2 is one of the hardest levels in the Warpless speedrun. Duck jump on this staircase, like so. Jump over these paratroopas, don't try to fire kill them. This is where A2 can go wrong very fast. While holding right, brush against this pipe and shoot the piranha plant. Run off that pipe, and brush and jump onto this next one. While Mario is airborne, shoot 2 fireballs to try and kill the paratroopers. Sometimes, these guys can change their positions and things can get nasty. Play it safe here if you have to. Bonking on those 2 pipes should manipulate this last paratrooper so you can bop him and land on this pillar. If you want, hang out while ducking on the second step to be safe. As long as you have fire, 8-3 is a very easy level. The most important thing to note is that if any of the last 4 Hammer Bros jump, never try to sneak under them. 12.47 times out of 10 you will get hit. Always hold left and play it safe. You'll have to slow down anyways, as you will want to avoid getting 243 on the timer at the flagpole. If you don't slow down, and you're at the end, release B before landing on these 2 blocks. Do a full jump off of these blocks. Before you land on the middle block, hold B again so you reach maximum speed. This will slow you down just enough to get 242 on the timer. At the beginning, run off the second bottom step, bop the middle Goomba, and use the elevator to clear the lava pit. In room 2, don't hold B to start. Once you are off the pipe, hold B again. This is a manipulation to make the wall jump easier. When doing the wrong warp, play it safe. Try not to go too safe, since it maximizes your chances of getting hit by a troll Cheep Cheep. In the water room, we will utilize duck swimming. Activate it before the first fire bar. For this swim in particular, hold down A for a long while. This will reduce how high Mario will swim, making it easier to get under this fire bar. Shoot 1 more fireball to take out this Hammer Bro. From here, just power through, as long as you're big or Fire Mario. If you're small, do a big jump once you land on the ground. This will line you up to land on the Hammer Bro. One important part about speedrunning this game is to learn where the power-ups are. I'm going to go over some of the best spots to recover all the way to Fire Mario once you've been hit. In 2-1, hit this middle block, and then run into the staircase. After you stop moving, do a backwards jump into the mushroom. Go up top, wait for the piranha plant, and grab the fire flower. Two 3 and 2-4 each have one power-up that are quick and easy to grab. Be aware of the location of Cheep Cheeps in 2-3, as they can make this mushroom grab slightly challenging. In both 2-3 and 2-4, a safe way to get off the block is to just hold nothing during the power-up animation, and do a small backwards jump once you fully land on the block, after the animation, of course. In 3-1, this third block has a mushroom. Don't go too far to the right, as you don't want the paratroopa to sit on you. Next, grab this star. You want the invincibility to plow through the hammer bros. The second question mark block contains a fire flower. At the start, go below these two elevators. When you reach this block, try to hit it at the right time to bop this Koopa Troopa. You might be on pace for a 256, so slow down if you need to. In 3-4, this middle block will have a fire flower in it. In 4-1, the bottom question mark block will have a mushroom. Hit it, run to the pipe, and do a backwards jump into the mushroom. Once you land on the block, do a small jump over the spiny. At the beginning of 4-2, land on these two blocks, and perform a duck jump. Slide under the bricks and unduck. Then, keep running forward to prevent scrolling Mario further to the right. This last brick will have a power-up in it. If you enter World 5 as Small Mario, take every Piranha Plant safe. Land on this middle Goomba and grab this star. The star should last until the end of the level. Five 2 can be a painful level to fully recover in. After playing the beginning safe, this last brick will have a mushroom. Chances are you'll get hit by the Hammer Bro, but ideally you wouldn't. If you are small after this, play any following Hammer Bros safe. There is a mushroom in this brick close to the ground. The final power-up is in this single block before the white pipe. For the 5-3 mushroom, go around the right side of the question mark block. The 5-4 fire grab is identical to the 2-4 grab. It will also set you up for good firebar positioning. 6-1 is a really nice place to grab power-ups. The left block under Lakitu will have a mushroom. Go to the right side to grab it, not the left. The second power-up is the left question mark block here. Sometimes, Lakitu can throw spinies right in the area, so be careful for that. Again, go around the right side of the block to grab the fire flower. The 6-3 mushroom grab is a little slow. Patiently wait on the elevator and use the right side of the block to grab the mushroom. Land back on the elevator to the left, and jump back onto the power-up block. This will help give you running speed to cross this pit. In 6-4, go under the first Poda boot and grab the fire flower. Use the same visual cue I mentioned earlier to run under the fire bar. This should also line you up for good fire bars guaranteed. Seven -1 can be a tricky stage to fully recover in. The first block will have a power-up in it. After you grab the mushroom, perform a double jump. To do this, make sure you're not holding A when you grab the mushroom. During the power-up animation, start holding A again. Don't let go until after you see Mario jump. The block up top will have a fire flower in it. If you do get hit by Hammer Bros, and only are Big Mario entering 7-3, there is another power-up you can get in that level. In 8-2, run off this bullet launcher to land on the paratroopa. This is a manipulation, it's just to get to the ground without jumping or slowing down. The second block will have a mushroom in it. You have to really watch the Koopas towards the end since you won't have fire to shoot them. In 8-3, play the Hammer Bros safe. The first power-up is in the second rightmost block, on the top. The last power-up is in the second leftmost block on the top. And that's everything you need to know how to beat every stage for the original Super Mario Bros. In under 20 minutes. Hopefully you found this tutorial useful. I will be making a number of other tutorials surrounding the NES and Game Boy Mario games, so stay tuned if you're interested in learning those speedruns. Thanks for watching.